The Celtics are 15-10 as we record this tonight. Okay, they're 2.5 games back of Philadelphia for second place in the Eastern Conference. I predict that by the time we get to Christmas Day, the Celtics will be tied or ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well,
okay,
that's probably a good bet just because Embiid is all of a sudden starting to complain about his role. Oh, really? Who do you think may have influenced that?
Interesting.
I mean, they are who they are anyway, right? But you got to think Butler. You got to think Butler, right?
It's absolutely
that Butler did it.
Philly's a joke. I mean, they're not a joke. They're a good team, but they're never going to be a great team. As long as that coward has a big role in the Philadelphia 76ers, and they've got Markelle Fultz being whatever it is in his socket, whatever. No, it's not happening. I just don't see it for Philly. I saw that game against Toronto, and Toronto's good. I mean, that is a solid team. The Celtics at full capacity are going to have a hard time with Toronto, but Philadelphia is just a notch below at best. And I'm just not a big fan of any of their makeup of what they got. They've got a lot of potential, but the pieces don't fit. So
the outside shooting, that was a concern.
Yep.
It clogs things and it makes it hard to spread the ball around and all of those issues. I thought that this would actually end up being a good thing. But once you start having locker room issues, I mean, it's a problem. Look at how the Celtics started this year.
Absolutely. No doubt. And I think it's coming home to roost for Philly. I wouldn't be surprised next summer if, things get really weird for the Sixers. And that's going to put the Celtics behind Toronto. That's where it's going to be. If by January 1st, the Celtics are in second place behind Toronto and they're, a handful of games back, that's okay. I like the trend line. I don't think, can Toronto keep it up? We'll see. But you need to have.
I think they will. Kawhi is on fire.
He is.
Unless he gets injured, they're gonna maintain that. But I'll agree with you. I'm not sure I'll say Christmas Day because that's only just a touch over 2 weeks. I mean, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative, but I agree with you about the Celtics moving up in the standings. They have a much easier schedule than they did in terms of opponents and a couple of tough ones that will end up having an impact on the standings. So I'd say by January 1st, they leapfrog. What they really need to do this year is they've already had their letdown more than any other year to start the season. They've had a letdown, kind of slow out of the gate, but they corrected every year faster than they did this year. And then they have that January 1st sort of Christmas through the first 2 weeks in January letdown. That has to be a thing of the past this year. They've already gotten gifted all that. They have to stay hot in January, February, and ride out the season. And if they do that, they'll probably land pretty close to those 60 wins in the end anyway. But it's going to be tight, and they're going to have to be really stellar. We're going to see a lot more crushing defeats of lesser opponents like the Bulls more and more for the rest of the going here.